Deshaun Watson, because that could change so many teams' plans based upon what winds up happening. What is the latest on the possibility of him getting traded?
They need to pick up their phone. Houston needs to pick up their phone if a trade needs to get done. This is the problem. I've talked to teams around the league. There is tons of interest in Deshaun Watson, but Houston doesn't want to make the deal. And this has been the story from day one. Nick Caserio is in there right now trying to fix this relationship. We can talk all day about whether or not he can get that done, but the Houston perspective right now is we are keeping Watson here. He's not going anywhere.
So if we start assessing value, Mel, I'll come back to you. And obviously it's been a while since you evaluated Deshaun Watson, but we can all tell he's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the NFL. So should the Jets at number 2 be willing to give up whatever it might take? Should the Dolphins at 3 be willing to give up whatever it might take? Are you in favor of the huge sale, if you will, of all these draft picks to get Deshaun Watson?
And Carolina would be in that mix too, Greeny. I would give up whatever it took to get Deshaun Watson. 25 years of age, great quarterback, one of the top 3 or 4 in the league moving forward. He's going to keep ascending from that. You know what you already have. He's dealt with adversity. Talk about Sam. He's had a bad team around him. They still put up great numbers. Deshaun's done what Superman only could do in Houston. Right. So, yes, I would give up whatever draft choices it took to get Deshaun Watson. If I'm the Jets, if I'm Miami, if I'm Carolina, yes, I would send a lot of draft choices in that Texas vicinity to the Houston Texans organization.
Dan, looks to me like you're agreeing.
There's no question about it. I think Deshaun Watson's one of the 4 or 5 best quarterbacks in football, and he's only getting better. And Mel makes a great point that we've seen him succeed in adversity. Imagine Deshaun Watson going to a place that is well run. We think that the Jets have a good general manager and the Dolphins have a good general manager. We know the Dolphins have a good head coach, and we think the Jets are going to. Imagine Deshaun Watson in stability, because he's been excellent in chaos. And that's why, like, at the end of the day, when you get your quarterback, because as much as I love Sam Darnold or I'm intrigued by a Zach Wilson or a Fields or something like that, you know Deshaun Watson is great. You don't think he's going to be good. You're not projecting him to be good. You know he's good. If I'm and I thought Mike T made a great point 2 weeks ago. You pit the Dolphins and the Jets against each other and you go, man, if we don't get him, that team's going to. And that's why, at the end of the day, those teams should be very aggressive. And Houston's got to wake up. Houston's got to pay attention. He's not playing for the Texans again.
Chris Canty, what do you think?
No, I think Dan's absolutely right, especially that last point about the Houston Texans. I think they're the last ones to realize that they're going to be forced to trade Deshaun Watson because he's not going to play for them. And as the offseason progresses, as we get to free agency, as we get to the NFL draft, these other teams that are in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, they're going to start going away because they're going to formulate their own plans in terms of what they want to do at the position in 2021. Yeah. And if the Texans haven't made up their mind, then they're going to lose leverage in terms of the potential compensation that will be coming back to the organization if they were to deal him. So Houston's on the clock right now.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is I don't think that they ever lose with an asset of that significance. People will still be willing to give up a king's ransom. It's just a question of when. If they're going to do what you would think, they have to do it before the draft. And I think it's worth pointing out or worth remembering, go ahead, Danny, that we're remembering that Deshaun Watson is not a free agent. Like, he has some say in this, but not all the say in this, and that also makes the situation a little different. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, I think the big thing, though, Greeny, is you got 2 teams this year who have 2 first-round picks in this draft. You don't have that next year. Right. And so, like, the clock is ticking. Next year, those 2 teams are perfectly pitted against each other, same division, that both have multiple picks this year. And that's why, like, yes, eventually you could move him in September or August or something like that, but you lose the advantage of both Miami and the Jets having multiple first-round picks in this year's draft. And so there's that urgency to make that move, but there's also that capital that you can steal another first rounder this year in comparison to what a team could give you next year or the year after. They both also have young quarterbacks that you might be able to wiggle them away from, obviously, as well. You know, like, you could get Tua. What happens if Houston and Nick Caserio liked Tua coming out of school or liked Sam Darnold 3 years ago coming out of school?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.